Our friend Sean Paul with Intrigue Journal is here, and that opening intrigued me into thinking, are you going to sell us any anti-aging cream today? Could I buy some?
Yes, I've got it for you. All you need to do is get a list of your 10 closest friends and family. We're going to have a little get-together.
Okay.
We're going to have social distancing, and we got to get everybody on the program. Can we do that?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Done and done.
Okay. I've always been fascinated with, it's like, what if we could say to aging, they say death and taxes, two guarantees you get in life. But what if when it comes to aging, you could say, no.
I try. Don't you, Jeremy?
Kelly and I'd be the first people signing up.
Right, exactly. And there's a British researcher that said that the first human being to live to be 1,000 years old has already been born. In other words, it's not hundreds of years away.
Oh, I see. So some baby right now.
Yes, they're saying that they're going to be able to help somebody live to be 1,000 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Who's alive right now.
I don't want to live.
Are we intrigued?
Years.
Are we intrigued?
I'm intrigued.
In fact, I've got so much on this. We can't even get it all in today. We're going to talk about it tomorrow or next week as well. But what I want to talk about is what we can do for ourselves now, behavior-wise, and then next week I want to talk about what science is working on.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get started.
Okay. So to get things started, the world's oldest person is Kane Tanaka, and she is 116 years old, the oldest living person on the planet. But somebody believes that this 116 years old could maybe just be middle age.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wowza.
And his name is David Sinclair, and you might say that he's coming up with the fountain of youth. It's actually, it's what I was telling you before we started. He believes that we have these proteins in our body that help manage and keep our organs functional. They're called sirtuins, okay? They keep the kidneys acting like kidneys, the liver like a liver. They promote the health and well-being of our organs, all right? Problem is these proteins in our body start diminishing as we get older. Right, so we have more of them when we're 20 than we do when we're 50. And so you got to figure out how to boost these proteins that keep the functioning of your organs going, right?
Okay.
And think about it this way. What's the largest organ in your body?
Your skin.
That is correct. So if you have if it ceases to function, what happens to that organ?
Oh.
You start looking like you're aging, right?
Oh, right.
So you boost these sirtuin proteins in your body by doing a couple things. You have to shock your body system. And then it like hits a reset button and it produces more of these proteins. What are these things that we can do to shock our body into creating more proteins? What are they?
Can I get my pad and pen real fast? I need to write this down.
You can have my notes afterwards.
Thank you.
All right. To slow down the effects on aging, you could do a couple of different things. Like a shock your system by out of your daily routine of calorie reduction. Maybe just skipping a meal once a week. Doing something that your body isn't used to, and then all of a sudden it's going to go to battle stations and create more of these proteins. Or maybe a really intense short workout that's more than what your body is used to. Shocking the system. Or a short exposure to massive cold.
I've done the polar plunge.
Yes.
And Gwyneth Paltrow on her show, The Goop Lab, went to this place where all these people did this kind of freezing water therapy.
Yes. Well, they're doing it for a reason, and so there might be something to this. Now, they're not saying that David Sinclair's thing is airtight. It hasn't been clinically proven, but that's his theory. And they say that people up in Minnesota, I've heard, live longer than other parts of the country. And I will tell you, Minnesota, it is brutally, brutally cold.
I just thought of something else too, Kelly. Katharine Hepburn lived to a nice, ripe old age. She said her secret was taking a cold shower every morning. Yeah, and I was thinking about that. If we don't live in Minnesota, how do you do that? You could be taking a nice hot shower and then just go like this. You go, oh, God.
Wow. Oh, that cold water is horrible.
But shock your system. You might be better off for it.
I might be. I'll try it.
Okay, so that was David Sinclair's. But now there's a fascinating guy named Dan Buettner. I actually met him when I was in college. He's traveled the world. He's bicycled across different continents, Russia, Africa. And now he's going around the world and he's looking for blue zones. Blue zones are pockets. They're beautiful places on this planet where people typically live a dozen years longer than the average person in the human race. All right? And I'm just going to, I could go into detail on each one of these places. I'm just going to rattle them off, and then I'm going to say what all of these communities have in common.
Oh, nice.
Okay?
Nice.
So the first one is Sardinia, Italy, which is an island 25 miles off the coast of Italy. All right, and it's actually the Neuro province, which means it's up in the hills. And it's not uncommon for you to see a 102-year-old man biking around in Sardinia.
Oh my
okay?
gosh.
All right, so let's just keep going. Okinawa, that's a small collection of islands off the coast of Japan, and very active people. These people have 5 times the centenarians, which means people that live to be 100 than of us in America. And then we even have a blue zone in the United States. Guess which state?
Arizona.
Whoa, you're very close.
Oh, really? I was going to go up north.
Yeah, I know. I would have too.
Okay.
California.
Arizona, so what do you think?
California.
Oh, California?
Yes, Loma Linda. And it's home to the First Adventist congregation. They're conservative Methodists. They eat a diet that comes out of the Bible with legumes and seeds and things like that.
We love legumes.
Yeah, like the Daniel fast? Well, they have that.
They say that, there is no centenarian diet, there is no exercise, but this is what links them all together. I got to tell you a funny story about this guy. His name was Ellsworth Wareham. He was part of the community here in Loma Linda. He's 97 years old, he's a multimillionaire. He wants to get a fence built around his house. He gets a quote, and they say $6,000. He's like, for that amount of money, I'll do it myself. 97 years old, he's digging post holes, mixing concrete, builds the fence, and on the 4th day, he ends up in the operating room. Open heart surgery. But he's not receiving it, he's the surgeon.
What?
And at 97 years old, he's doing 20 open heart surgeries a month.
Wow.
So they're actively living. Okay, so what do they, we have running out of time, right? What do they all have in common? They, as part of their lifestyle, they move naturally. So these little old ladies in Okinawa, they don't sit in an easy chair. They sit on the floor. And they're getting up and sitting down 30 to 40 times a day. They make a cake. They're not using an electric mixer. They're doing it by hand. They have an active, naturally lifestyle. And then, stress is a huge killer, right? So these communities will actually take 15, 20 minutes, and they will chill. They will meditate. They will detox. They will slow down, and they will turn. Because if you're stressed out, that causes an inflammatory, and that's linked to a lot of killing diseases, right? Okay, they eat a very balanced diet. It's mainly green, all right? Not that they won't eat meat. They will. They usually all drink a little wine every day.
Well, I'm halfway there.
There you go.
Halfway there, Kelly.
You just checked off one box, didn't you?
Check.
Yes, all right.
Well, that's what's wrong with me. I don't drink wine.
And then they've got a strong sense of community. Their social network is not Snapchat and it's not Facebook. They don't have one friend that they go through life. They go through life with 5 close friends for 100 years.
I'm an isolationist.
Okay.
I don't know if I can check.
The wine will keep you young. Don't worry about it.
So this is a way to add years to your life and life to your years. And next week I want to talk about what science is going to do to help move things along.
I am so excited.
Sean Paul, next week, Kelly and I will practice some of these and let you know how we feel next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we'll be back with more right after this. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, because then we don't
So you take a cold shower tomorrow.
And I have to drink wine.
Yeah. And I'm going to sit on the floor.
Okay. Welcome back to Ozarks Fox AM. Sean Paul is back with another Intrigue Journal. Welcome.
Aging is optional, right?
I hope so.
How do we look
doing
this week?
Yes. Well,
how many younger than last week?
How many cold showers did you take?
None.
None.
I took 3 cold showers. I sat on the floor to eat all my meals.
And you drank a case of wine.
I did.
We don't believe her.
No, I didn't.
No, we don't believe that.
Didn't.
So people would say, though, I don't want to live to be that old. It's because people are used to seeing people get old and decrepit, and that's not appealing to us. Right. But what if that didn't have to be the case? We went to visit my grandmother up in Minnesota. Whenever I would go up there, I'd always try and see her, and she really appreciated it. Her face would light up when I'd come to the nursing home. She was in her late 90s. But my brother didn't go out of his way so often to go visit her. And so I remember once we walked into Christmas, and I'd seen her, a lot more recently than he. His visits were
few and far between.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
All right. So we walk in there, and she looks at me, and her face lights up. And then my brother walks up and goes, "Grandma, how you doing?" And she looked at him and goes, "I don't know you."
Oh.
And then he said, "Okay, well, let me get a chair. I'll be right back." And when he walked away to get a chair, she leaned over and said, "He's gained weight."
Oh,
she was
Granny.
Oh, wow.
She played it. She knew how to work it. But anyway, so last week we talked about what we can do to try and, lengthen our lives. But Aubrey de Grey believes, he's a British researcher, and he believes that if we develop the right kind of therapies, we can add hundreds of years to our lives. He looks like Rip Van Winkle, right? But he's very, very passionate about this subject. And he believes, like I said last week, the first person to live to be 1,000 years old more than likely is already alive. And they're going to get these treatments, and eventually they could live to be 1,000 years old. And I want to talk about how that might be possible, all right?
Okay.
So, for instance, like, look at this car. It's about 100 years old, built in 1923, and it looks as good as it did when it was first built, and it runs just the same. It was only built to be driven for maybe 10 or 15 years, but it's still in immaculate condition. Why is that?
Probably because they kept all of the machine parts well oiled.
Yes.
And taken care of.
Yeah, maintenance, right?
Maintenance.
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's what Aubrey de Grey says. He goes, we got to be able to keep our body maintained.
Exactly.
And we talked about organ failure and whatnot last week, and how to maybe be proactive about that. But eventually, you got to replace these organs, right?
Well, if you're going to live 1,000, yes.
Yeah, right. And so there are medical companies here that want to eliminate the waiting list for human organ transplants, all right? And I mean, it's shocking. 114,000 people are currently on the waiting list for some kind of life-saving organ, and another name is added to the list every 10 minutes. And what's really sad is 20 people die every day because they didn't get the organs in time. So this is an emergency, and it would be really wonderful if we could fix this. This is where things get bizarre.
Okay.
You ready?
Well.
Do you know what a 3D printer is?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, I knew you were going there.
Did you really?
I knew
I've heard of this.
All right. I don't have one yet, but I'd love to. I don't have the time to learn a new skill and how to operate this thing. But it's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if we could use this to print the organs that people need? Instead of them dropping little droplets of plastic to build it, they're dropping human cells, and they're building body parts.
Wow.
But they put in the inkjet cartridges our cells. So that means it becomes our organ.
So you don't reject it?
That's correct.
So they build it for the individual person?
That's correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Tailor-made. It's not a mass assembly.
Which means you won't have to take anti-rejection drugs the rest of
That
your
is
life.
absolutely true. But there's a big problem with this. Okay, so it's working. They saved a kid's life by printing him a bladder with his own cells. Saved his life. Wow. They're also printing bones. Okay, and they're coming up with like an ink or whatever you want to call it that helps the bones regenerate, and they're building like a structure. This is amazing, right?
Wow.
It's crazy good.
But the problem is that with the 3D printing, they can't print the organs with the vasculature network of arteries and whatnot. You can build a shell or you can build a structure. A bladder, there's not a lot to it. But if you're talking about this intricate network of vessels and whatever, they can't print that in. There's some companies that are trying, and that's fascinating.
It is.
But
It's scary.
But we're not God.
Yeah.
okay,
Amen to that.
So let me ask you this, Jeremy. What is your feeling about bacon?
I love bacon.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, pork chops. What do you think?
Love pork chops.
Okay. What if I told you a pig could save your life?
Then I'd be like, sign him up.
Sign them up.
Porky up.
Okay, but it's not about eating bacon.
Okay.
All right. It's a company called Matrix, and what they do is they raise medical grade pampered pigs.
Okay.
Believe it or not, pigs have. Is this stuff that you know about this?
You can put it in the heart.
That's correct. Their organs are about roughly the same size and structure as a human body. And what they're able to do, you see that this is a kidney, but it's white?
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
They have flushed out the cells that make it a pig heart. And now it's this inert organ that doesn't have a DNA code assigned to it. And so basically what they do is they re-engineer, they reprogram pig organs to become human organs.
It's mind-boggling.
Okay.
I see. My brain hurts, Kelly.
Yeah.
People
I'm
are
not
saying,
kidding.
oh, that's 10, 15 years away. No, it's a couple years away from happening. And Matrix, I was fortunate enough to talk to a guy named Randy Hines who's raising money and bringing on investors to help support this company in their efforts. We have the CEO actually explaining how this cellularizing process works. Let's go ahead and watch it.
Okay. My name. Wow.
Good news, right?
Yeah.
That's exciting, isn't it?
is.
It'll get rid of the waiting list. Now, what's really amazing is, first of all, it's not a pig heart anymore. It's not a pig kidney. It's just a kidney because they flush out the DNA and the cells that make it a pig heart. What's even more amazing is you could take a 40-year-old heart and replace it with a heart that's only 15 months old.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's a much brand spanking new organ.
That's customized to you.
Yeah.
To your cells.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's amazing.
Thank you,
We'll
Sean.
use your tricks from this week for next week then.
Okay, yeah,
just-
I'll get that
We'll keep
3D
trying.
printer, Kelly. Yeah, okay. Don't go anywhere. So much more fun on Ozarks Fox Day right after this.
Thanks so much for watching. We would love to have you as a subscriber. Please give us a thumbs up and post your comments below.